Hello again, all you retro coders. We're looking again at Z80 assembly. We're continuing where we were yesterday, and that was it got a little tiny bit confusing, only mainly in my opinion because of the X and the Y pos being backwards in some of the routines, but it was a bit late as well. Anyway, we figured it out in the end, and let's find out where we were by compiling and having a look at it. Oh, wrong button. By the way, I received a comment from some experienced coder who said I shouldn't use Pasmo, and actually there's a better one, SJASM, which is more up to date. However, with that said, we've already been through setting up with Pasmo and it seems to be working, so we're going to stick with it for now. Okay, it's compiled okay. We don't have collision detection, but we have any number of spawned stars, power-ups, collectibles, whatever they are. So after the last session, I want to try and keep this one concise. With that being said, I have already done this behind the scenes, but I changed a lot of the code, so I'm going to attempt to just write it here afresh. There's probably a lot more optimized way of doing it, but this is just one option for us. What I'm going to do is, we've already got a draw stars function, obviously. What we want is an update stars, and inside that we're going to do collision checking, and we'll also do the same thing where we delete all the stars like we do with the player before we do anything else in the loop or in the main loop. Because at the moment we just draw them. So let's go ahead and make that right away. So there's our draw stars. Let's do delete stars. We'll use the exact same trick we did before of checking for the end of array signal. Which we made this 255. With the delete stars method, we're not even going to worry about if they're dead or not, we're just going to delete them all. It could be problematic, but we can always add some sort of check later. When I was making this code, I was thinking to myself, really, we could just draw them once. They don't need to be drawn every frame. And then we could just delete them once when they're collected. But this is more robust because if you want to use it for another project, you might want to be able to walk over the thing and not have it destroyed, or you might want another, there might be another reason why you don't want it to get deleted. So this is more robust in the long run. But yeah, we're not going to bother yet. So if we're not at the end of the array, we basically just want to delete the stars. Excuse me. All of them, one by one. So we'll increment the pointer after we've done that. Just thinking of the best way. So we'll load. Can we load that directly into the ix plus 1? Let's try it. It wants yx in the whatever the word is for it, the at command, which we'll be calling. So we'll load d with ix2 plus 2. We'll load e with ix plus 1. Because I think I put them the other way around. Well, it does say y there now on this one. Yeah, so it should be actually that way around. You see here I've used the accumulator to do the same thing, but I'm wondering whether I could have just done it like that. We'll find out. We can use our set position function and delete sprite function. We're in the delete stars. We're calling delete sprite. Then we want to use de again and give it the length of the data type of a star, which is 3, as you see, just so that we can increment ix by that amount. Not increment, so add ix with de. Increment pointer by data length. Jump back to the start of this function, and then here just do return z. Return if end of array. Right, I think that will be good enough. That's just going to iterate through our array of stars every frame and delete them all, even if they don't exist. Okay, that does need also ix to be the pointer. Right, so we'll just assume that's correct for now. Let's do update stars. And exactly the same again. We'll check for the end of the array, turn out when it is. This time we do want to check if it's alive or dead. If it's dead, we're going to jump. So we'll make a label now. Go next. Update stars. So if it is dead, we're going to jump to that label. So if we reach this point, it's a live star. This star is alive. Right. If not, we just load de with the length again. Add ix to de add ix with de, and then jump back. So here we want to just check a collision really. We'll make another function. Check collision star player. Now, hello Moz, my friend. Good to see you again, man. Yeah, I finally cracked this in the morning. I think I was just a bit tired. There was one thing I was doing wrong on the collision. Well, I still don't quite know what it was. It was to do, well, I do actually, yeah. I was using the sound to show that you'd collided, but that was destroying IX somehow, but I don't know how. So I needed to push and pop IX really, but I found another way anyway. So here we're going to call check collision star player. That's fine now, that function. This one will need a return. And it's as simple as checking the positions. They're locked to a grid. So what's the best way of doing that? I'll just look up my compare. In fact, let's just see how I did it today because I looked it up already. I'll just be a moment. Okay, so this is how I did it this morning anyway, and I think I did look it up the best way. I may have got the X and the Y the wrong way around because I wrote a completely new project to test it out. We'll load our Y pos and we can literally just do compare IX plus 2. Obviously return if not equal because it hasn't collided if they're not equal. Do the same with the X pos. And again return if not equal. So if either of those are not equal, return, and if not, we've got collision. So and I just done this to fix that, to show that we'd had the collision. I set IX to 0, which is our bool is alive. Here, they're all 1 currently. And our draw function looks to see if they're 1, as does our update. So it will no longer get updated or drawn. The reason I've done this, load DE with XPOS, is again, I'm just grabbing the player's position, which is the simplest way, and I'm going to delete everything in that character cell by calling set position, and then delete sprite. But I was thinking about combining these. Really, I think set position could go into delete sprite, or maybe have a function called delete sprite at position or something. But at the moment we have to call both of those. But it seems every time I call that before it. So. We're near enough, ready to go here. It checks to see if it's alive. If it is, it checks collision. If there's no collision, it returns and goes to the next one. If there is, it sets the isAlive ball to 0, tells it the position, and deletes whatever's in the square. Looks like we haven't done the main. I think I can just do it all above here actually. I mean these spawn stars, this can go right at the start. It's a one-off thing. It could probably go up here, but that would have saved me having to do all this check, to be honest, if I'd have just done it up there. But the good thing about this is we can do another spawn later when the level's ended very easily. So we're set up for that. Alright, so here's our stars getting drawn. So the first thing I'll do is delete them. I think it's that tidy, which is definitely tidier than I did it this morning. The only thing I can imagine is that these are the wrong way around, X and Y, possibly. We'll probably get an out of bounds error if that happens, possibly. Everything else was written yesterday and works. Update stars. Let's give this a try. Okay, so they're getting deleted a lot and we're getting flickering now. And there's no collision either. Okay. This is what I did earlier to test. I was doing a bit of debugging and I copied my little sound thing. Just put it into where the collision is. But what confused me was I was getting the sound. I wasn't getting all this flick. Oh, hang on. We have got them the wrong way round or something, I think. But if you get the sound, it won't destroy the the right thing, because IX then points to the wrong place. So what I could probably do is push IX, pop IX. Let's try that. Oh, it still doesn't vanish. Oh, this time it has gone though. Oh, I'm almost certain it's to do with the X and Y being the wrong way around, because my other code that works, I was getting confused with the X and Y being the wrong way around, and I started with this as a basis. Could also be that, but I don't think so. Xpos is first, so that's okay. Yeah. I think which one. There we go. So it was just simply, I actually predicted that when I typed it as well, that it was wrong. So I'm pretty happy with myself there. But look, we got what? Oh, it's crashed. No, it didn't crash. I just don't know what happened there. We've got like the very first inklings of the game here now. You know, there's some element of fun here. Doesn't quite work properly. And of course, nothing happens now. It's just going to run out. I'm trying to figure out the reason for the flicker. I did put a lot of halts. I've added quite a few loops. There is only one halt. It'll be to do with the positioning, I think, of this stuff. But we could try just putting a halt. Maybe made it a tiny bit better. No, I don't think so. It's made a couple of them less flickery. Let's delete. Let's delete them straight after we delete a player. Let's pop that up there. So really, that was all BS at the moment, but it was a good exercise, I guess. So now, straight after the first halt, we're doing all the sort of deletion and movement code, and then we're actually waiting another full sort of a scan line cycle until we display them. So that makes sense to me. Let's try that. That's even worse. I wonder if I put the sprite here. That's the player sprite I just moved. Now we can't even see him. He's not getting drawn. So I think there's too much data going on here. And it's the same problem I've had before, actually. I know what the problem is. And there's no real easy, I haven't found the answer to this yet, but it's because my loops, I'm using a lot of loops, and then they're, no matter what, looping through all that, they're not exiting the loop when they find a dead one. So if I say we're only allowed something like that amount of ninja stars, we might find it's a bit better now. Still worse. I mean, I think I mucked it up as well. Something else I changed it. Try changing that back. I'll do it one at a time, so we might be able to find what it was. That's slightly better. So I've just moved update stars just to below delete up there, and if not, I'll move it all back down. This isn't better. Still terrible. Funny how a few of them are just solid, but then the others are not. I mean, I've actually optimized that quite a lot already from what it was in the book. I'm going to try 2 halts there and get rid of that one. It's awful still. Wow. Okay, well, I think if I move these two things back down to here, this is where it was when we started. All I'm doing there, by the way, if anyone's confused, is I'm just moving stuff around in the main function, the order of what I'm calling these routines. That hasn't improved it, it's making it a little way down the screen without flickering. Needs another halt somewhere. Did I try 2 at the start? I could just try that. No difference whatsoever. So I'm not sure what I'm running into here is a problem. Because I thought, if I remember right, we wrote this, we wrote the, oh, it's only UDGs anyway, so there's no like sprite drawing code. That only gets called one time. I guess it's this one that's doing it. Delete stars. And I did have the idea at the start, as long as we weren't moving the stars, we could really just draw them one time and just delete them when we collide one by one. But there are scenarios where that just won't do. You need a continual cycle of everything being deleted and drawn. You know, most games you need that. Give me a second, I'm just taking a drink and having a think about this code. Okay, that's better. I'll tidy the code up a little bit, make it more readable. My mouse wheel's absolutely doing my head in, I'm sure it's annoying you lot at home watching as well. Try my best not to let it bother me. Well, as you can probably tell, I'm not 100% sure of what's happening here to cause all that flickering. I'd say I'm 99% sure that it's one of two things. It's either the fact that I'm looping through all those data, although that's not that many, is it? No, really. But let's try that. But I mean that's fine. But why have we only got 3? Interesting. 4. How odd? Something's not working correctly. Let's try changing one of those to 0. See if we get more than one. We lost one of them, so that's obviously the one I changed to 0. That's really odd. That data length is only to do with how long one star is. The whole idea of having that was so that I didn't have to record a constant of, I mean I could have quite easily just said num stars. How many stars are in a stars array? 10. And then I could have made sure there was 10. But So that one's being ignored. Yet one of these after that isn't. Yeah. Is it? Am I incrementing it twice? Yeah, I think that's what's happening. I must increment the pointer twice. I'm going to search for that, and I'm going to find it every time. It all looks okay so far, doesn't it? Looks like I'm wrong with that idea. That looks fine to me. It seems like it's skipping one each time in this array. Like we'll get 4 now, right? And I'm going to move the player first, just to make sure we're not spawning on 1 and getting 5. So we've got 4. And if I delete this, if I make this one dead, we'll have 3. But if I make this one dead too, we still have 3. That's the same one though, isn't it? No. Yeah. Sorry, my lame debugging, but this is how we do it on. This is how I do it on Spectrum. It's not my usual. It reminds me of how I first started out. So those 2 are both being displayed normally. Ah, that one's being ignored. That one's okay. Ignored. It's weird. We'll get 4 now. And I bet we get 5 now. Oh! We've got a different one. That's weird. Alright, well, there's something strange happening there. Three, four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there should be 10. That's all. Hang on, let me delete, not delete, comment out these. See if we get 10. Yes, we do. So it's nothing to do with our spawning function. Yeah, it's a strange one. But there was no order to it. At first I thought it was every other one. But then like the first two are live. Oh, it was weird. And it depends on the size of your data, which ones were missing. There's something strange happening here that I've done stupidly wrong. Like I say, in my other code from this morning, it's similar to this. And it works. It didn't have that problem. I've eliminated it down to one of these two functions now anyway. Delete star. It's almost certainly that, isn't it? I don't know actually. That's so odd. When it gets like this, it's so tempting just to copy paste my working code in. Because it's something in draw or update, but how can it be? Hang on, sorry, delete or update. So it must be delete. Because I did say to delete all the stars, but I'm expecting them to get redrawn in the same frame. Maybe that's what it is. They're not getting redrawn for some reason. They should be though. Yeah, exactly. And as I say, if I highlight out or comment out these ones, which we just wrote, it does produce all of them on the screen. As soon as we try and put the collision detection back on, oh, they're there now. What the hell? And it works. Okay. I have no clue what. Oh, maybe they were just flickering. That could be a possibility, I think. Because that just happened to me then, where they were all flickering. I couldn't see any of them. But it was weird how they were like solidly missing. I mean, I would say this code does work. I just need to see less of these and then see it not flicker. But I'd love to be able to handle 10 at a time. I don't know why. I have to look up this double buffering thing next. That's one of my next specky lessons for myself. Okay, so now we'll try it with 5. And only 3. It's really strange. And I'm going to go one by one through every step. There's one there now. Yeah, so they're just flickering. They are there, I think. God, it's too fast as well. I need some halt statements. If they're near the bottom of the screen, I think they flicker more. They're probably down here. I've got them all. What is going wrong with that though? Why is it so so slow? Hmm. I mean, I could get rid of the noise for a start. I don't think that's going to make much difference. Still only 3, but they are there somewhere. Weird, it's not there now. Oh, there's no sound, of course, to tell me I'm collecting it. Then one appears. Wow, it's really hard to control. I need to figure out how to make this loop better, the halts in the right place and stuff. Okay, so right after I do the movement code, I'm doing the stars deletion and update, which includes the collision detection, then another halt, then I draw everything. So that, to me, that makes sense, but I don't know if it's going to work. And well, we've got 5 stars now at least. I wonder, did I delete that sound or did I just comment it out? Because I want to put it back on now. Deleted it now. Okay, so everything is working, this code. I just need to know why it flickers so much. Actually, in my other game I wrote, there was a lot more going on than that. And I didn't use UDGs, I used my own sprite routine. And it was flickering a bit, but not that bad. I don't know what to say about that. I mean, I'm thinking I will end this session here, just come straight back on, so that I can. I mean, this is that lesson's complete with like doing the UDG collision detection. For some reason or another, our drawing rate is not adequate, so I need to figure that out. To me, it doesn't look like there's that much going on in this code. I mean, there's not even that many in the loop now, and the loop doesn't have that much going on in it. That's a spawn one, but like the delete one's only that big. Nothing major, is it? Just one though. I used to do load a ix plus 1 with da load a ix plus 2 da. I doubt that's better, but no, not really. Maybe worse. So it looks like the next lesson will be about optimization. Because I've deviated so far from the book now, there's no way there's no way that the book doesn't actually cover what we're covering now. It does cover double buffering though on sprites, so I definitely need to look that up. That will sort of make this whole stuff obsolete anyway. That's one other thing to bear in mind when if you're watching this, when it's not live. We're not going to be using UDGs in a game very often, and all of this stuff with this at command and loading it with the different positioning at and hitting RST16 is irrelevant then. So I think that might be what's causing the flickering. Maybe it's time to end this project actually, in fact, with what we've got. It was only for an exercise in the first place. We have this game, or if you can call it a game. I will come back and address the flickering to complete the series. After that, that's going to be the end of the absolute basic because I don't want to use UDGs anymore. Yeah, I'm most certainly going to do a SID audio tutorial as well. I thought about learning that this morning, seeing what I could learn, but I didn't end up doing it. I ended up fixing this. I definitely want to get into some more coding this afternoon, so maybe another live session from scratch is in order, but with sprites this time. I'm going to come back. It's going to take me about half an hour to prepare that. I'll have a think of what I'm going to do. It's not going to be like a concise sort of session like these were trying to be. It's going to be more of a random chuck ideas around sort of session and try and make actually a good looking game. Well, no, the very first thing I'm going to try actually is to do a floating point system, and I've decided you don't even need floating point, but per pixel sort of gravity system, so we can try and do something like thrust. And that's going to take us a lot of messing about. I'm going to be up and down for hours on that one, so that's what I'm going to do live soon. In fact, this afternoon. So hopefully it's still about. Should only be about half an hour or a few minutes more than that, not much more. Thanks again for watching. I will figure out this flickering if anyone else wondering about that, but not right now. Okay, see you all soon, guys. Bye bye.